I'm gonna leave you guys to do your thing. I know
Why
nothing.
is this episode? Yeah. So, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, Season 2, Episode 4, Among the Lotus-eaters. Peering into deep space, they see the Starfleet symbol on a lawn. They're like, hey, Pike has been here before, and he had an issue with contamination because he was found, and a couple people died on a planet where a mission went wrong. So, Pike, we're sending you back there to go clean up your mess. Then they get there, and, they start feeling strange, and everybody starts feeling strange. There's some stuff happening on the ship where people are losing their memories. There's some stuff happening on the surface where people or Pike and the Doctor and La'an, because apparently the only two people who can fight on the ship are La'an and the Doctor. His real name is Dr. Fighter. He fought in the other episode, and now he's going to be prepared to fight in this one. And Pike just wanted to bring people who had his back. We almost had Ortega's, is that her name? Moment, where she was narrating the beginning, and getting all ready and all excited, and then they're like, actually, no, nobody wants you to come aboard. Nobody wants you to come along, so you're going to stay behind. and the second you thought you might get some character development from her, beyond just I'm the sassy pilot, that was shot down pretty quick.
So it was a fairly okay moment where it didn't seem like it was we really had that kind of moments with what the hell's her name again? The pilot? I can't even think of her name. Ortega, that's right. So, but you're right. It really didn't turn into anything besides like, oh, she has confidence now.
I am the pilot. Oh yeah, that's this episode.
Yeah, that's right. I am the pilot. And then again, it was so like in your face. Like, yeah, this is. So you're just telling me that's what she is. That's it. She's just the pilot.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got for. Like, I think they're setting up that, like, I know everyone wants a character-centric episode where we explore something about their backstory, about who they are. Not with this character. We're going to really hammer in. All you're ever going to know about her is that her name is Ortegas, and she is the pilot.
The way this season is going, she's going to get an episode, because it seems like that's what they're doing this season. Is every other episode is a character-centric episode. Normally, I'd be okay with that, but I'm getting really strung out, really fat or hard on this.
Okay, so it's not just me,
they're
right?
They're really sacrificing story over character development. And you got to find a balance. Like, I know I complained like hell with Discovery, that there was no character development at all. And not that there was any good story there either.
Well, that was the other side. It's not even the overarching story. Like, we could go DS9 without, like, I mean, a lot of the B plots would usually explore some of the character stuff. But and then they did have those more fun episodes sprinkled in between the Dominion War.
Yeah,
like the later seasons are peak television for me in Deep Space Nine, and they all kind of peppered it in. This one's like, you don't know who any of the characters on Discovery are, huh? Well, here we're gonna really hammer it home that you know everything about these people. And while I didn't necessarily have a huge problem with Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, I mean this is more of a A plot, B plot. More of a ship-centric one where everyone gets involved. And that's fine. I mean, Ortega's has her moment where they just really hammer home that all we're ever going to know about her for now is that she flies the ship the best. I mean, apparently the only one that can fly it in a asteroid belt.
Yeah, I don't understand why that was like so challenging. They really did not make that very clear. I was trying to think. So like the I forgot, the planet or the people of this thing are called the Kalar, and I'm like, I know I've heard that name in Star Trek before. I could not think of it. That was Worf's girlfriend.
Yeah, Kalar. Yeah.
That was her name.
Alexander's
I was like,
mom.
I know I've heard that name before. I'm trying to think, what the fuck did I hear it from? Yeah.
But anyways, they so to round it out, I mean, they get helped by this dude, our Pike and team. And Fighter 1 and Fighter 2, Nooney and Singh and Fighter Doctor.
Katinga.
Yeah, it is. Probably. They start losing their memory. They get captured. Turns out, plot twist, those people that were mentioned that died on the planet and potentially contaminated this culture, one of them survived and ended up becoming the leader of the planet.
God.
So he is so angry at Pike which good thing they sent Pike, that he's just going to let him lose his memories on the planet and become like a common worker, I guess. It didn't really seem like he had an end game there. And so then there's, he was just, he's just, I'm leader of a planet. This is good enough. This is better than being Starfleet.
True.
This is better than being in space.
Why serve in heaven? Why serve in heaven when you can rule in hell?
Yeah, and through some shenanigans, through the help of this old man, and getting and eventually into the palace, fighting their way into the palace, even though they don't really know who any of each other are, but they have feelings that they might know each other. Yeah, he gets in the palace, and it turns out the planet is what it is, probably caused by that big asteroid that slammed into it a long time ago that they kept talking about. Also has something to do with the asteroid ring around the planet, and that's why the Enterprise is losing their memories, not their memories. And
their memories.
I'm losing my memories. Oh God, I'm growing memories. Yeah, they meet up with the dude. Pike beats his ass, and right before he's about to kill him, or it's alluding to he's going to kill him, he gets his memories back because apparently the castle fortress blocks the radiation that's causing them to lose their memories.
I have a hard time believing, by the way, that whatever composition that castle does that helps block that radiation that makes them lose their memory, the ship's shields are not just standardly like ready to block that radiation. I mean, I know that the ship's shields don't block every form of radiation. Usually they can get it to work that way, but I
don't know. I mean, it all works out in the end. He gets his memories back just in time. He doesn't end up killing the old crew member. And they try to put right what once went wrong. And then that's the end. Somehow they make it back to the Enterprise and they're ready to go. Oh, and there's that moment where everyone's losing their memories, including Ortegas. But Ortegas is able to remind herself who she is using the ship's computer. And then runs to the bridge and is like, I can get us out of here. I know what to do now. And does that. And so everyone's saved. And so...
And Spock does make a shield for it, and then they throw the asteroid into the sun.
Yeah, that's right. And his final act of tampering with the civilization is to raise the asteroid that crashed on the planet that was causing the mind-erasing radiation and throw it into the sun.
We're just out of the planet's reach. I can't remember which. I think I wanted them to throw it into the sun, but I think they just threw it away from the planet so that it can, create an orbit and then come right back.
I think actually they took the guy from the planet, the God Emperor. They put him in a torpedo tube and shot him at the sun. We have a special way of dealing with. I'm not dead yet.
The prime directive will be shot into the sun.
Don't you know this is General Order 1? The only punishment is death by sun.
Death by sun. Oh man, yeah, it was pretty. I mean, it wasn't a great episode. It wasn't terrible. I mean, the one saving grace I think these episodes have been having is that I still do like the cast. I mean, there's not really any characters that I dislike. They all seem to offer something to the table. At least most of them. I'd say Ortega probably is on the bottom of that because she's not really. She's just kind of annoying. Yeah, she
flies the plate.
I don't like her because, like we have talked in the past, she's way too informal of an officer. She's way too nonchalant. Like, yeah, we've had like the joking Tom Paris characters, but she seemed way too lax, way too like easy to like. She's a fucking ensign, and she's like just buddy with the captain, and I don't know. Doesn't sit with me right.
Yeah, no, that's it's funny in the comparison to Tom Paris, who was maybe at the time considered like Paris can't talk to Janeway like that. But I also think like Ortegas is played by an actual like young person. I think Robert Duncan O'Neill was like 35
at least, yeah.
Playing I think he was balding there towards the end too, and they were trying to cover it up with his haircut. But he's like playing someone who's like not that far out of Starfleet Academy. I mean, he was a lieutenant, so I guess he maybe, if you had to place him at like 25 or something like that. But he's being played by someone who's like a decade older. And this is like someone who's straight out of Starfleet Academy, or a couple of years removed from the academy, you know, maybe 23, 24, and is being played by someone who is that age. And so I think maybe that brings something different to my perception, because I never really looked at Paris and was like, that guy needs to shut his fucking mouth.
I'll tell you the difference I'll tell you the difference right now. Okay. When we watched Voyager, or more specifically you, because you watched a lot of that when it first aired. You were a kid, and Tom Paris was an old person. Now we're the old people, and Ortega's a kid.
It's true. I mean, that's true. It's true. I can't.
We're just the old
these kids today.
Yep, these damn kids not taking authority seriously.
Seriously. But the a 5 for me means that it was more watchable than anything I've seen for Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I mean, I'd say
I will give this a 5, and only because my ranking system is a 5, which means that, well, 5 is the minimum to be watchable, and 5 is better than anything I would have given in Discovery. So I would watch this as part of the series again. I enjoy, I think the saving grace so far, in that these stories haven't been that strong, is that I really like the characters, or I like the actors. This last episode, though, even the part I watched, I haven't finished it yet, but I don't know about Uhura's actress.
I mean, honestly, like, we'll talk about it then, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to rank that newest episode below this one.
Really? Yeah. I mean, it seems to be
There's
going
nothing
that. I just felt
like,
it was
that episode we've literally seen at least 2 or 3 times. Like, it's almost a direct ripoff of like 2 episodes of Next Generation, and it brings nothing to the table. We didn't learn anything new about our Chris. Well, we'll talk about that episode on its own feed. Let's not get too many spoilers here. They got to listen to the other video too. But
it's just a little taste, just a little sampling of what to expect.
As far as my thoughts on this episode, I agree with pretty much everything you said. It's watchable. It wasn't anything. There was a couple of interesting ones. I thought the idea of like the totem, like their story, like waking up and like literally reading your story of who you are and what your goal is here, is kind of an interesting way, because, you know, they even say that they literally wrote the totem themselves, like the hierarchy, like the kings of that.
Yeah.
So like they literally told their workforce of their people, like, who they are. So you can imagine those existed all over the planet. And like, you literally just have workforces and telling them, like, you know, fairy tales about who they are and what they should be doing. And they believe it because it's just their instinct to believe it. So like, I thought that was an interesting concept. I just don't think it was utilized well enough. I don't think we spent enough time exploring that kind of idea, because, you know, there's a lot of subterfuge in there. There's a lot of, you know, analogies that you can probably, you know, relate to our own things and our own way of thinking about that. Like, you know, we kind of like, you know, people that just read the headlines of every news article, and, you know, it curbs their opinion on the topic. When you actually read the article, it's actually completely different. So I thought that was an interesting concept. So that's why I think I would put it above passing. I think I would probably give it like a 6 out of 10 or so. I agree also that the actors and the characters are what's bringing me back to this. At least, like, I know who they are. I know what their values are. It's just nothing that I could ever say about Discovery. And, but it's just, it was too generic of a story as a whole. It just, I felt like we've done this so many times. There wasn't enough time to really think about like what we were talking, what we were saying. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the episode.
Yeah, it was quick. It was quick. It was in and out. It was a Planet of the Month episode. I mean, the whole catalyst for a lot of that, too, was that Spock was like, hey, we should fly into the asteroids. The asteroids might have natural shielding against the reason why we're losing our memories, even though we don't know why we're losing our memories. So they detected the radiation. If it is radiation, I would say scientifically, right? If they have instruments to pick up any number of sciencey things, right, science fiction-y things, they can't pick up an energy signature emanating from a giant crater. That's right. Like, wouldn't the concentration be super, like, to affect the entire planet? Like, wouldn't it have to be giving off like a major like, if it is giving off radiation, and then they're showing out
I'm fairly sure they do say it was radiation. You're right. Like they have instruments. They can pinpoint the source and like, oh shit, it's that asteroid that's like emitting like a really strange form of radiation. Oh, can you like adjust the field harmonics to block it? Yeah, no problem.
I feel like though there's only certain types of like whenever they come up with these radiations, like there's no feasible known way that radiation would only block memories. Like this is a really like the original series-esque type of science rather than Next Generation style where they do the techno babble crap. This is really like not even that, oh, the ionizing radiation is interacting with the human anatomy. No, it literally, it's radiation that blocks memories. Oh,
well, I mean,
okay, and no other side effects.
Like, I mean, I was gonna say, I would say that at least when I'm thinking, like, I know that there's diseases that affect the memory, so I imagine that there could be some form of radiation that could affect like certain parts of the temporal lobe and things like that. That would, I mean, like there's Memento, like that movie. I guess that is based somewhat off of a real disorder where you can't form like new memories.
But that's different than like, because any amount of radiation is going to do, like ionizing radiation into the body.
Yeah,
has the potential, especially if it's passing right through, like if it has the ability to pass through your skin and your bones and everything else, like it's going to have adverse effects to all parts of the body, not just the brain.
Yeah.
And there are specific types of radiation that impact different things. And I know we're just supposed to like a lot. Don't worry about that, right? Don't worry about that part of it. But it's hard for me to detach from that because I'm like, you could have made it anything. It could have been, oh, this asteroid carries a pathogen, that's airborne, and when you come in contact with it,
wouldn't have affected the ship.
I maybe that's where they ran into it. Like they had to find some reason. I would say but then you can create a scenario where someone had to be emergency vet, like La'an. She served no purpose in that whole story. You could have just had, oh, La'an's in trouble. Like she got
still
stabbed.
Sad about Kirk dying. Okay,
she got stabbed. We have to do an emergency beam out before, right?
Yeah.
And then she gets emergency beamed out. She infects the rest of the crew, and there you go. And then they find a cure or something. And there actually is a cure, not just like, oh, the palace blocks. No, I would make it something native on the planet, like this route, the asteroid. I would even go as far as to say, so here's my headcanon, right? The asteroid has a pathogen on it. It slams into the planet, into a forest that was known to contain this special herb that only grows on this planet. And it mixed with that and caused the mind-altering stuff. And the only way to negate the effects until it's out of your system is to eat the non-contaminated version of this plant. And the ruling class controls that plant. Imagine that,
Yeah.
This is just...
Yeah, I don't know.
I know that's a pretty big departure from the story we got, but still, like, I don't know, a radiation that only affects your memory is super specific.
I think,
and the fact it doesn't do anything else, it just very specifically resets your memory after 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we've probably seen similarly fantastical things and other trick things that I wouldn't say that this is anything abnormal. I mean,
I do have to say
it felt very much in line with like things that I've seen before.
Normal magical Star Trek stuff. I agree. There's probably just like I usually give the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager more leniency when it comes to this stuff, and it may just because I'm older. I have to think that, especially like I think of the what was that de-evolutionary virus or that evolutionary virus that went through.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, perfect example. Yeah, okay. It's gonna that didn't make no sense. Why did most of the humans de-evolve into apes, and why did some evolve into spiders?
Yeah, Barclay became a spider.
It's like, oh, well, we can't have just like a whole ship full of monkeys. Apes. That's not fun. We have to have all kinds of stuff. Like Deanna Troi, she's gonna be a mermaid,
amphibian. Amphibian.
Worf is gonna be a giant killer monster. My God. So that is.
That was
the
Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, Season 2, Episode 4, Among the Lotus-eaters.
Stick with the Candy Boys to get the next episode.
Stick with the Candy Boys coming at you with more reviews. I want to talk like that the whole time.
Don't forget
Yeah.
to smash
Be sure to
that
like and subscribe.
Talk.
Hit that notification bell now if you want.
Smash that notification bell.
Tickle it. Tickle it.
Tickle it. Caress it.
Come on. Only if you want.
So,
I think we have to. I think that's the rules of YouTube. I have to say, do that, but only if you want.
there you go.